We're still here live at the Fmdq OTC Nigerian Debt Capital Market Workshop right here at the Eco Hotel in Victoria Island of Lagos. And I'm here with Mrs. Eme Essien Lore. She's the country manager for the IFC. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Basically, the thoughts we've been thinking about, Nigeria's capital market, debt capital market as it is still very young, but we've gone a long way over the short period to which we've come. But seeing it as it is, you want to look at the fact that a lot more can be done if the market is deeper. But why do you think the market has not gotten the kind of attention that it should get, especially from the government and maybe more private companies?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think there are a host of different issues. If you focused from the perspective of the corporates,
yeah.
I think a number of them will say that it's too expensive, it's untested. But again, that's changing. We have more corporates who are coming onto the market, but not as many as we would like. So there's maybe a challenge there of perception on the part of corporates that using debt capital markets is not yet the most viable way to fund their capital raising. But again, we think that's changing. We see some change there, but certainly not enough of that. So that's on the side of corporates. But my sense is that the corporates in this market do understand the opportunity, but they don't see it yet. They haven't really realized it yet. So there's some work to be done there around the cost of issuing in this market, and then maybe some awareness building. On the side of government, frankly, there are a number of big macroeconomic challenges that the government is trying to sort out. And frankly, at this stage, we're still waiting for a cabinet to be appointed. Yeah. So the challenges are significant. We do, I think, have a regulator in this market that is keen to see a deepening of debt capital markets.
Sure.
And want the actors to actually play a part. As IFC, we will be applying for a shelf registration so that we can have a series of bond issues over the next several years. The central bank is very keen to support initiatives such as that. So there is support from the regulators that we should be doing as market actors as much as we could. But I think it's important to understand the general macroeconomic environment, which is that it's expensive. It's expensive to issue locally, and so at the end of the day, people are going to be thinking, well, what is the cost of this? Yeah. And what does it mean for my business from a cost perspective? And ultimately, that's driving everything.
Well, the IFC, what angle is the IFC looking at this from, especially this workshop that we're in right now? It's obvious that you support this, and going forward, what's the IFC's participation in this as a whole?
So we take the perspective that in order to actually have sustained private sector development, you must have thriving local capital markets, deep and thriving local capital markets. It's fundamental for private sector development. So in all the markets where we operate, we want to figure out, is there an opportunity for us to do that? So we did that in Nigeria. We had a pilot bond issuance in 2012, 2013 to test the market to see, well, what is the appetite? Could we actually start to build out the yield curve here in Nigeria? So that was successful from our perspective, but it was just a start. We want to do more. So our perspective is we come in, we work with the regulators, we work with the market actors to see if we could start to test the space. Yeah. And from our perspective in Nigeria, we've done that. Now what we just need to have is the right interest rate environment so that there is enough take-up of a bond issue and enough ability for us to then on-lend proceeds from a bond issue into the real sector. So we would love to do a lot more in this market. The issue is only a timing issue more than anything else. Yeah. There's a strong opportunity to be to really help deepen the local capital, the debt capital markets in Nigeria. But again, the fundamental issue that's, I think, stopping all of us really is the overall macroeconomic environment, which is quite challenging.
Speaking about that, there's been some sort of restrictions around the FX regime in Nigeria, and that has pretty much scared away some sort of investors in the Nigerian market. Do you think that we have done enough in that area, or we could do some more in terms of releasing some of the capital controls, or are they adequate, or what's your thought?
It's a complicated question that requires a complicated answer, I think. I think from my perspective, a lot has been done to try and sort of stop the leakages that have actually been very problematic for the sector. So I think the CBN is really trying to address speculators whose activities might actually be damaging the currency. At the same time, you have sort of the unintended effects of having sort of long-term investors really not understanding what's happening.
Yeah.
So you asked what could be done. I think probably what could be done is probably better communication around the medium-term objective of some of these actions that are happening in real time. Otherwise, they look more like knee-jerk reactions, and I think the central bank is thinking that way, but maybe more communication to investors who really don't have the time to sit and fully understand what's happening here. They're much more shallow.
Yeah.
Right? So we're here, we understand the issues, but some investors who are a bit more shallow, they're just looking for, they don't understand.
True.
And so giving them more information about sort of the medium-term objective, I think would be helpful, and that would sort of appease some of those investors who are very interested in Nigeria, but are seeing some signals that they don't understand, and therefore they would step back.
Thank you very much for being with us. We really appreciate you. That was Mrs. Eme Essien Lore. She's the country manager of the IFC in Nigeria, and we've been talking about the capital market. We're here still at the Fmdq OTC capital market debt workshop in Eco Hotel. We'll still keep you posted through the day. Stay with us.